Alright, so this evening I'm going to talk about the myth of Japanese deflation. Because I live here, I'm here right now in Japan, and I've been living in Japan for 10 years. And there's been a lot of talk around the world about, how Japan has this massive debt-based monetary financial system that they're just dumping all this debt into the system. QA infinities minus negative 10-year bonds. The JGBs are negative yields. So it's like everybody, all the central banks and fascist governments around the world are modeling their policy from the Japanese model, because the Japanese model is they're just dumping so much money into the system, but they're getting deflation. So everybody's like, yeah, it can be done. You look at this, look at Japan. The Japanese model works. But I've been here 10 years and I've experienced massive amounts of money printing and massive amounts of inflation, not deflation, in Japan. I'm going to prove it right now. While I'm smoking this Cuban Ramon Allones cigar, which is one of my favorite cigars to smoke. Ramon Allones specially selected, beautiful cigar. Of course, this one is vintage, like all my cigar collection is. So, 10 years, Abe came into power from Jimento government, Shinzo Abe. His grandfather was a war criminal. His father was in politics, and they're all just a bunch of fascist Nazi Japanese bastards. And he came in, and what did he do? He increased the fucking taxes on the little people, on the public, decreased the corporate taxes, devalued the shit out of the Japanese yen, which made everything more expensive for us, by printing a shitload of money. Delicious. Oof. Awesome Cuban flavors, as usual. Badass. Love these specially selected. Chocolate and nutmeg. So, they've dumped a lot of money into the system. They did a hyperinflation, strategy. I mean, Abe's whole Abenomics, 3 arrows of Abenomics was to increase the strength of the export market by devaluing the shit out of the Japanese yen, which are just totally just stole from us, from the public. The people that are getting paid paychecks in Japanese yen. The yen went to shit. So there was massive inflation. But the Japanese government says, every little quarterly report that they put out says that there's no inflation at all, there's deflation. But they're lying. They're fucking lying. Because I live here. Okay, so first thing is the Nikkei. Over the last 10 years, the Nikkei is up, I believe, about 150, 160%. So that's inflation. %15 a year. Gold in that time is up, I forget exactly the number. I think it's I think, well, it doubled actually, so it's up about 100%. So gold is up in 10 years since Abe. 10% a year. There's been shrinkflation in consumer products. I mean, I have several examples where packages used to be bigger and there was more bacon in these little packages, and then the bacon is decreased by like a few pieces. See, everything in Japan is so small, so it's easily observable when you see something is missing. So, there was shrinkflation. For a few years there, I remember it. And you're talking about, I don't know, maybe 20%, 15% decreases in the amount of goods, but the price never changed. So that's inflation. Consumer goods have also increased in price. When I first got here, one apple was about $1. Now it's almost $2. So the price of fruits have gone up. I don't really think that the price of meat has gone up much in Japan. But, yeah, other consumer goods definitely have gone up, especially fruits, I would say. Produce. A lot of Japanese produce is domestic. There's not a lot of imported, except bananas or something. I mean, we don't really get much. Price of gas, regulating, bouncing around, but it's probably around $8-9 a gallon. If you convert it all the way through, it's pretty expensive. But the Japanese cars are pretty efficient, miles per gallon. And we're not allowed to travel anywhere anyways because of all these COVID restrictions, so you don't have to worry about the price of gas. But whiskey, luxury goods, I'd say probably in the last 5 years, especially recently, up about maybe 50%. So, I mean, there is inflation here. I don't know what the fuck. The price of cars have gone up 30%. New cars. The labor has gone up a little bit. The price of labor. So I'd say it's probably increased maybe 1% or 2% a year. And now it's stopped. It's not increasing anymore because no one's getting any all raises have been frozen due to the global depression that's going on right now that was made by these politicians and their lockdowns. They're still doing it. Still locking people down for no reason at all. Crazy Germany. Who's in charge in Germany? Merkel? I mean, give me a break. Who is this person? What is she doing? Why is she doing that? Fucking crazy. Hell, I guess she really cares about the German people. She loves them so much, she doesn't want them to get sick. German people, man, I don't know what the fuck. I mean, nobody wants to question any authority over there. I mean, come on. It's the second time this has happened. So, I mean, they're feeding everybody around the world a bunch of bullshit about Japan has deflation. It's not true. I mean, the value of land is has not really increased. There hasn't been much inflation in real estate. I mean, there was a little bit of stupid Tokyo area due to the Olympics that never happened. You know, land inflation. But where I'm at, no. You know, you buy property here in Japan, the value goes like this. Depreciating asset. Why? Because taxes are too goddamn high. Nobody wants to own land here because the fucking property taxes are so expensive in this country. So nobody wants to buy property. The economy's all fucked up. There's no new houses being constructed. Residential property, all that whole real estate and all that whole economy's been fucked up by the government and their high taxes. Taxes have gone up like hell the last 10 years. When I first came here, I thought it was onerous as shit. But it's just gotten worse since I've been here every year. Taxes probably increasing 10-20% a year. So there's been inflation on the taxes. Only thing that hasn't changed is our goddamn wages. That's gone up just a little bit. All the other prices have gone up like hell. So the Japanese people are more poor than they've ever been. This country's a poor ass country. It's nothing like it used to be 20 years ago. Japanese people used to travel all over the world. Not anymore. Not